Hello everyone, Simon here. Welcome back to Anno 1800. From my perspective, it's been several months since I recorded the last video. As I said in the end of that video, I think I said, I started a new game and played through it myself in my own time, and I thought I'd show you how far I've gotten. Let me just talk about this in the sequence of how I played it, right? So we started here. Foundation. This is the island that we started off in. And the first thing I did was get to 10,000 investors on the first island. And
this
then
city is
built,
a magnet for genius.
built the World Fair. So getting this first is quite important because we get very useful items from the World Fair, right? So right now I'm researching science. I'm looking for the Oxford Bell, but these are also fine. Look at this stuff. Productivity plus 60%, workforce needed minus 50%. So you get like 60% more productivity for half the workforce. So stuff like this, again productivity plus 40, workforce needed minus 50. Stuff like this, it allows you to save a lot of space and money and workforce, right? So I'm gonna keep doing that. Right, so this is the first island. It's kind of messy, it's kind of crowded. I tried to fit everything on this island as much as possible. There are a few supply islands, so the naming convention, Foundation is the name of the island. All the other islands that start with F supplies Foundation. So Furia provides furs, mostly. It does have its own population a little bit before I got the commuter pier in place. And then there's some other islands too. I used to have other islands too, the mines, but I made them more efficient using the items. But that's a different story. So first thing was this, 10,000... Let me check this actually. Right, 10,000 investors. Finance, we're producing an extra $163,000. And I've been collecting items basically. So one of the things that I did in my own playthrough that I didn't do on video was I just like waited and grinded for items. So I don't want to like spend hours and hours and hours just doing nothing.
This is nothing short of a major discovery.
Doing nothing and just waiting for the World Fair, waiting for the expeditions, and just buying items, saving money and buying items. I don't want to like just grind items for hours and hours because that'd be boring on video, right? But in my own playthrough, I did do that. I just left the game running in the background and just kind of semi-AFK and collecting items. So I got like a lot of this stuff, like I got 9 of these, 15 of these, and like 6 of these. And these are all, you can see the productivity and workforce and all that. 10 of these guys, 50% productivity for all production buildings. So all of this really good. Oh, and like this lady,
We like
where
to
is
think
she?
independently.
Meg Ivor provides electricity, so you don't need power plants. If you have her, you don't need power plants. So all of that is great. And that's just waiting, basically grinding. So after I did the first island foundation, I went over to the new world. Oh, let me zoom out. I set up... So Genesis was the first island. And this is just up to Obrera. And we got the airships going, so that's important. So this was just... Genesis is the first island here, and then from Genesis we moved to Manola. Oh, look at this. Look at how clean that is. So Manola is 10,000 artistas, I believe, what it is. 10,000 artistas, which allows us to get the Grand Stadium running at the highest level. So you get the best tournaments, best soccer tournaments for the for influence. So with all the items and all the influence, we can start spamming trade unions. So trade unions, you need influence to use trade unions. So we need the soccer stadium for the influence. And then once we have that, I didn't use it that much here. But with this, for example, look at that. Workforce needed minus 50%, crazy. And then productivity plus 50%, crazy. And then this productivity plus 50%, crazy. So like twice as productive and then half the people. Right, so I didn't quite spam the items here because I needed to get the influence before I could spam the items. But after
We
Manola,
have the devil to pay.
then we really start to spam the items. Let me ignore him for now. Right, so from Manola, so now we have all the items we need, all the money we need, and all the influence we need. I then went back to the old world, and I built this island, Industrious. Oh, look at the residences, crazy. So this is a workforce island, and the main reason for this is to get 10,000 engineers, or more than 10,000 engineers. This is in preparation for the Research Institute. The Research Institute, in order to keep that running at full speed, you need to put 10,000 10,000 engineers into the Research Institute to have that running at full speed. So this island is just residences and workforce, right? So we have 16,000 engineers here, 11,000 artisans, 4,000 and 2,500 workers and farmers. So this gives us extra workforce for all the other stuff we want to do. And so this is where the houses are. Look how clean that is. Oh yeah, look how good that is. Some of the supply is on this island, but most of the supply is on this island here. So there's all the factories providing for industrious. Look at these things. Look at this. Forest density plus 10%, forest density plus 30%. So we have plus 40% forest density, and you can just have these hunting cabins right next to each other. Like they're all this close together. Because of the forest density, right? So you can put them really close together. So items make things really efficient. But you have to get the influence for the trade unions, and then you also have to farm the items. So that takes time. But once you have them, you can like squeeze a lot of stuff into really small space. So this is still free space, right? I can still put more stuff on this island if I need to. So that is industrious, right? We have a lot of engineers. From here, I went down to Embasa.
We see eye to eye.
Embasa is basically the minimum requirements for finishing the storyline. So Tabarime, most of the stuff that we need for Tabarime is on Tabarime. You can see there's like open space there still, and open space here still. So there's still space to put more stuff in. But this is to get the best outcome on the storyline. And so there's the population there. What do we have? 2,000 elders and 2,500 shepherds. Not a huge population, but enough for what we need, right? So this is the main island. And then the supply island for Tabarime. Tireless. Tireless is this one. Okay, so this supplies some of the things that Tabarime is missing. And it's called tireless because there's no workforce. Look at that. Nobody actually works here. What's going on? This provides workforce needed minus 50%. This is workforce needed minus 40%. And then this is workforce needed minus 10%. You add those up.
Ship constructed.
Workforce needed minus 100%. So this requires 0 workforce. And we have just these farms here, right? We have the indigo farms. Workforce 0 shepherds. Apiary, workforce 0 shepherds. So we don't need any houses on this island. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put houses on here. There's plenty of space to put some houses for some shepherds. But I'm just like, you know, abusing the items and just have 0 workforce. Right, very good. And there it is. Oh, also you notice that there's no lobsters here, right? But Harbor Master's office, this provides lobster abundance. And then we just bump up the productivity, right? And so then
We're in
this,
the presence of a virtuoso.
we get lobsters. Nice. Ooh, so when you use items, you can shortcut a lot of stuff, is what I'm trying to say. And that's Embasa, basically. I can zoom out more. That's basically the whole of Embasa. There's 2 more islands. These are to support the scholars. And this is, again, Diadem. There's no workers, there's no workforce here. Right, everything is workforce required down to 0. And we just have like clusters of factories. all these farms, items on all of them, 0 workforce, producing everything. Amazing, right? So these are production islands, this one as well, distant. Oh, maybe I should fix that. I'll do it later. So those supply the Scholar Island, which is this one, Discovery. There's the Research Institute, is running non-stop. And there's the Scholar Housing. How many scholars do we have again? We have 25, a little over 25,000 scholars. So this is how many scholars you need to have unlimited research on the major discoveries. So major discoveries, each one you discover, the cost, the research point cost for them goes up, research points. But once you get to 250,000 research points, they don't go up any further. And so with 250,000 research points, you can just like get as many of these as you want. Just keep researching. So you can see I got 12 of those, 10 of those, 10 of those, 8, 9, 8, 8. These things, I don't use them that often, but when you do use them, they're really useful. Like moving a clay deposit, moving an oil spring. Oh, these are better. Change fertility on the island, change deposit ore. So if like your island doesn't have the right fertility, instead of having to go to a different island to produce and then ship them over, you can just change the fertility on the island and just stay on the island. So stuff like this, very convenient. Right, you only use them if like once or twice per island. But when you do, like, you make things a lot easier, right? That's the Research Institute, so there's the population. And then these are the factories. Again, abusing these items like crazy. Getting the productivity in there and the workforce requirements down. So every cluster of factories has a trade union. And in the mines have trade unions. Oh, this guy's amazing. Jorg von Mauching, Augur of the Auric. So any mines also produce gold ore and oil. You don't need oil wells. If you have this guy, you don't need oil wells. So we don't have oil wells on the island, but we have oil power plants. And we have a, where is this? We have the oil harbor. The oils are coming out of the mines. Amazing!
This represents an extraordinary breakthrough in the field.
It sure does, bro. Okay, so after the scholars, I went over to the Arctic, right? The Arctic is, again, the minimum requirements for getting us through the storyline. So King William Island, here's the main island. We have the population there, right? And then we have some factories there. How many people do we have here anyway? Oh, only 49, 71? Isn't that supposed to be 70 and 50? I think that's meant to be 70 and 50. Anyway, it's supposed to be 700 and 1,000. Or is it 700? I don't know what that is. It's enough. Alright, we have enough workers. We have the main island, and then we have one production island down here. So a small population, but enough to supply us with the seals. I think it's just seals. Yeah, no, we're only here for the seals. Everything else we provide for on the main island. And again, on the main island, we are, productivity and workforce. So we're minimizing the workforce requirements.
A technician transfers
Productivity and workforce. Like absolutely lowering the workforce requirements, so we don't have to support as high of a population, right? Because the more population you need, you have to supply them with items to get the population, and then you need population to supply them with items, and you just like spiral up. And so every percentage of workforce you can reduce, you can sustain it with a lower population, and therefore you have lower production requirements. And so it makes things a lot easier if you can reduce the workforce requirements. It's deceptive. I have not colonized a plateau, so I have a sky trading post here because of a quest. But this is not running.
better to keep us active.
Normally you would have to colonize a plateau, put a population up here to provide workforce for the Arctic gas mine, right? To get Arctic gas, I decided not to do that because it's a pain in the ass. What I decided to do is have a deep gold mine, and the gold mine, this guy, new input, industrial lubricants, and an extra goods Arctic gas. So you can get Arctic gas from the gold mine if you also put in the lubricant. So I decided that just getting lubricant to this island, lubricant you produce in the new world. So just getting lubricant to this island is much easier than trying to set up a population on the plateau. Right, so that's much easier. I don't use that much Arctic gas. I'm just building airships. But that's great. And you see most of the islands in the Arctic are unsettled, right? There's nothing there. There's nothing there, there's nothing there. So absolute minimum requirements for the Arctic gas. And then we go back to the old world after this, and after getting some airships, I went over to this island, Euphoria. This is the tourism island. I only just did this, right, quite recently, the tourist. Before I did the tourist, I already had the museum, botanical garden, and the zoo, quote-unquote, maxed out. You can always put more modules in, but what I mean by maxed out is I have all the sets, look at that. Oh, all the sets filled. All the sets except for... well, I mean, so all the plants are filled. So I have all the set bonuses here. Except for the Trelawney. I haven't done the Trelawney storyline.
How thrilling! A renowned personage has arrived.
So I was doing that. I built the palace. And palace is important because in the culture department we have this policy, which is the Right to Remain Act. Superior specialists replace the regular ones visiting your city. That's super important because every so often we get specialists, right? You want the special specialists, not the normal specialists. The special specialists are, as we said, some of these guys. Like she's special, but like the really good ones, basically.
Ship
Like these guys,
constructed.
the legendary guys. And I've set up a bunch of departments too. So on this island, look at this. So this is a local department. It allows us to put one of the palace policies here. So I put the Right to Remain policy on this
Same
island.
old
So
holiday gang as last time.
basically these islands are just farming specialists. And here we can see we've collected a few of these. So I have a number of islands set up just doing specialist farming, and this is how we get the best people. And we can use those items in the trade unions to make everything easier, right? So the palace is there. That's all filled. Put a world fair here just for the tourism. So the tourism, the hotels are here. The production for the tourists are here. Turns out it's quite easy to support tourists. You don't need a lot of production to support tourists. And they just generate a lot of money, and that's it. Here we have the hotels. All the needs are met completely. Oh, look at that, how good. Oh, wait. I'm still having some production issues with the souvenirs. When the supply chains even out, that will be continuous. And then we have zoo, docklands, museum, botanical garden, the palace, world fair. The thing we don't have is the skyline tower. So what I haven't done is I haven't done the skyscrapers. I haven't done skyscrapers, and I have not done Cape Trelawney. So Cape Trelawney, there's nothing here. Crown Falls, I haven't built anything yet. And I haven't done skyscrapers. The plan is to put skyscrapers here. Only skyscrapers. So like build one residence and just upgrade it all the way up to skyscrapers. So have nothing but investors skyscrapers. If I remember right, you can look this up. You need 75 maximum, like 75 tier 5 investor skyscrapers to unlock the Iron Tower. And then you build the Iron Tower and it's basically just a big skyscraper. So that's what I will do next. When I have time, when I get around to it, right? I've been playing this on and off, mostly off actually, because it's just a lot of work. Doing all those production chains is actually a lot of work. But when I get around to it, I'll work on skyscrapers. And then I'll go do Cape Trelawney after that. And then I would have unlocked everything. I would have like built all the monuments and I would have unlocked everything. And then we can just like work on population if we want to. And that's basically how my game is doing now. So stuff still to do is skyscrapers and Trelawney, and that's it. Oh, there's the Iron Tower, by the way. So monuments we didn't see in my previous game. Oh, look at that Iron Tower! Look at all these people. Iron Tower. I think I didn't do the palace. This is so ugly. This island is so ugly. If I had to do it again, I would arrange things better, right? I would arrange... The thing is, this is like the first time I'm doing tourism, right? And I didn't know how much space I would need for things, and so I just like put them in. And it turns out the bus system, the bus station system, the bus stop system, it's kind of finicky. If I move any of this stuff, then they won't get 100% fulfillment on the more distant landmarks. So this is like, after a lot of trial and error, this gets 100% fulfillment on all the hotels. I think I should have like just put everything closer together, but oh well. If I had to do it again, I'd do that, but right now that's what it is. Is there anything else I need to... No, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of little details, right? I don't know if you want to hear me go on and on about that. There's some like little tricks.
One-piece underwear suits, too prickly. I find
So, like,
singleton shorts and vests
here?
to be tried and true.
Bro, shut up. So, pocket watches and gramophones, look at this. So this is 8,000, this is 27,000, right? 8 and 27.
This represents an extra.
If you go to
breakthrough
Embasa,
in the field.
this guy buys pocket watches for 13 and 44. So you can buy watches and gramophones from Archibald and sell them to Katabar and just get a profit doing that. You don't have to produce anything. You just need to build a ship and just load the pocket watches and gramophones and dump them here. And you make a lot of money doing that. Like, it's like starting off, it's so good for making money. Early game. I mean, so at the moment I've maxed out on money. So I have $1 billion and that's maximum. That's my balance. So I don't need the money anymore, but early on that helps a lot. Right. I guess that's pretty much it. Let me just like check, right? What have I built? Like, have I done everything? Obviously, I've done all the farmer stuff, done all the worker stuff. All the artisan stuff, including maxed out docklands. I don't actually trade with the docklands. So I have a lot of docklands. It's mostly for the attractiveness. I built a bunch of docklands, but only for the attractiveness. I don't actually use the docklands to trade.
These lands exist after
So
all.
maxed out, it gives you 1,440 attractiveness. And more attractiveness means a higher chance to get special people. So if you want to farm specialists, you want to have maximum attractiveness. So I just put the docklands for the attractiveness to farm specialists. That's all I use it for. So right, so I've maxed out a bunch of docklands. Right, I've got all the sets for the zoo. I've got all the sets for the museum. I'm using the airships. And then advanced. I I think I'm using an item to get advanced weapons. I don't have much of a military. Well, I have some military. I have maxed out botanical gardens. Department stores for skyscrapers, haven't done that yet. Investors, so everything... I've done everything except... Oh, this is Palace? Yeah, Palace. World Fair and Palace. That's for skyscrapers and that's for skyscrapers, so I haven't done those. Scholars. I've maxed out Scholars, Research Institute, right, done all that. Tourists, maxed out tourism. Yeah, so only thing left is skyscrapers. I saw something before. I thought of something, I forgot about it. Oh, I haven't used drop goods. I really haven't been using drop goods. This is not useful. Yeah, that's not useful at all. Alright, so that's it. That is the current state of my own game of Anno 1800. And as I said, next thing up is skyscrapers and then Trelawney, and then just doing whatever. Alright, that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I will see you in other games. Bye.